Welcome back to the Explainer. All right, we are jumping right in today because we've got a full-blown, step-by-step masterclass on completely transforming your AI coding workflow. If you're tired of sitting around bottlenecked by single-file linear AI editing, well, you're in the right place. We're going to dive deep into Cursor 3.0 and the brand new Composer 2 model and break down exactly how you can orchestrate parallel agents to literally multiply your coding output.
But before we get into the nuts and bolts, I have to give you the exact reason why this workflow is suddenly so incredibly viable right now. 50 cents. Yep, just 50 cents. That is the drastic new cost per million input tokens for the Composer 2 model. To put that into perspective, this is a massive cost-benefit anchor that totally changes the game for how we use AI agents. You can actually afford to run multiple agents simultaneously now without just, absolutely torching your API budget.
So, here's our roadmap for today. First, model economics. Second, parallel agents and work trees. Third, multi-root workspaces. Fourth, rapid UI design. And finally, plugins and code review.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, model selection and token costs. Just take a look at the stark contrast in pricing here. Traditional powerhouse models like GPT 5.5 or Opus 4.7, those are going to run you about $5 per million input tokens and a staggering $30 per million for output. But Composer 2, it scores right on par with those leading models on coding benchmarks, yet it costs just 50 cents for input and $2.50 for output. And hey, even if you opt for the Composer 2 Fast variant, you're still only paying $1.50 for input. This wild price difference is exactly the key that unlocks your ability to have parallel agents running constantly in the background.
Now, even with these cheaper models, you still want to be efficient, right? So the crucial point here is utilizing Cursor's new context pop-up. If you ever feel like you're suddenly burning through tokens, you just pop this open to get a real-time breakdown of exactly where your context window is filling up. This lets you immediately optimize your model choice, saving you from blindly draining your resources on a bloated context window. Moving right along to Section 2, parallel agents and work trees. And honestly, this brings us to the absolute most critical foundation of this entire workflow, which is work trees. So what is a work tree? It's essentially a local Git branch project copy. And why does that matter? Well, think about it. If you have 10 different agents running tasks locally on your Mac at the exact same time, there is a massive risk of them overlapping and completely corrupting the same file. But by spinning up a new work tree for an agent, it gets to operate in a completely isolated local environment. It's what makes safe, local, parallel agent orchestration a reality. Of course, once you've got multiple agents running wild across different work trees and cloud environments, you absolutely need a way to manage them all, and Cursor 3's new interface handles this brilliantly. By grouping your sessions by repo, you can visually track your isolated local work trees right alongside your cloud agents directly in the sidebar. You get this crystal clear, organized view of exactly which agent is doing what, completely eliminating that headache that usually comes with juggling concurrent tasks. Next up, Section 3, managing multi-root workspaces. Take a second and think about how you currently work. A traditional single repo setup totally limits your AI to just one codebase context at a time. But modern apps almost never live in just one folder. By setting up a multi-root workspace, you can actually give a single AI agent simultaneous context across, let's say, your Next.js backend and your Expo native frontend at the exact same time. The agent instantly understands how changes in your database schema need to be reflected in the mobile app's API calls. I mean, for full-stack developers, that is an absolute game changer. All right, let's get into Section 4, Rapid UI with Design Mode. Okay, so here is the exact keyboard progression you are going to want to memorize. Step 1, hit Command B to hide your sidebars so you get a nice, clean view of your browser. Step 2, enter design mode so you can actually target specific visual elements. And step 3, this is where the magic happens. Press Shift-Tab to enter multitask mode. So instead of waiting around for your primary agent to finish tweaking a button before you can ask it to, fix a margin, multitask mode lets you rapidly click different elements and fire off independent requests. And that really brilliantly illustrates the power of multitask mode. Every single rapid-fire request you make spins up an independent subagent right there in the background. You are completely unblocked. These subagents, they handle all the minutia, verify their own updates, and then smoothly report their finished work back to the main thread for automated merging. It's awesome. You literally just queue up the UI tweaks and watch them resolve in parallel. Finally, we arrive at Section 5,
Essential plugins for code review. Now, if there is one single plugin you absolutely need to install right now, it's called Superpowers. This isn't just some simple extension. It pulls in MCP servers, which gives your agent access to external tools and context, alongside custom skills, subagents, hooks, and commands all at once. But the real kicker is how do you use it? Once an agent finishes a complex task in a work tree, you just trigger the Superpowers skill to execute an automated, thorough code review before you ever even look at the pull request. It heavily, heavily upgrades your review efficiency. I really want to highlight this quote from the source creator, reflecting on nearly 20 years in the industry. They said, the majority of the responsibility now is shifting towards sessions as opposed to manually coding. And wow, that just perfectly anchors the true value of everything we've looked at today. The IDE isn't just a text editor anymore, it's practically a management console. The tools to deep dive into the code are obviously still there, but your primary role, that is fundamentally shifting. Which leaves us with this final thought. Take a hard look at your current workflow. Are you still manually writing every single line of code, waiting around on single-threaded AI generation? Or are you ready to adopt this framework and become a high-level manager of parallel AI agents? I highly recommend you implement these work trees, leverage Composer's 2's incredible economics, and start orchestrating your code bases like never before. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.